Good morning to Story Trading VIP pre-market prep. Hope you had a nice weekend. This is the show where we make sense out of markets, bringing you some research from crowdsourced research and social collaboration in our chat rooms to explain stocks based on the four pillars of catalyst, sentiment, technicals, and fundamentals. So, as we get started here, first we're going to do a quick macro review, looking at Nasdaq SPY. So hey, listen, I think this is just gut. This is I don't know, but feel like this bear market rally is getting stretched, right? I don't have a lot of evidence for it technically. I know we're at the 50 we are at the 50 DMA resistance here on the QQQ. And on the SPY, we are in between the 20 and 50, but we did get a downgrade from Apple this morning. One of the analysts did a downgrade price target cut from 199 to 174. Now it's definitely well below 174, and Apple is above the 50 DMA. So I don't know how long it's going to stretch. I got fooled in the very first bear market rally. It went much higher than I thought. So bear market rallies can always go much higher than you think. But I'm starting at least retest this 200-week moving average right there. Okay, earnings season is coming up, so it's a little bit risky. Earnings season starts financial companies at the end of this week, Thursday, Friday, and then we're going to get into the generals. And I don't know what's going to happen, but there's the risk, right? There's a risk there that companies like Apple will miss and take the Nasdaq down to test this 200-week moving average. And if the miss or the guidance is really bad, it could always go below. So we're entering a period of risk. I think it may be wise this week, especially as we head towards the end of the week with earnings Thursday, Friday starting earnings season, to have some cash on the side. Be careful with margin and call options. Probably want to take some risk off the table, in my opinion. But you guys do what you want. That's the way I see it. All right, so we're looking at ARK as well. Everything's down, Bitcoin down, and this is a leading indicator of risk. I don't know what caused this over the weekend in Bitcoin, but that's a pretty big gap down over here. And of course, MicroStrategy is impacted because that's a levered bet on Bitcoin, MSTR. So one day someone might make a ton of money shorting this. I don't know, but the put options are too expensive for me, so I'm not playing that. All right, looking at some of the commodities. Wow, natural gas up 10%. Must have been some news on that, which I haven't looked into. That's a big move for natural gas. And you're also seeing wheat and corn bouncing back, right? So this is what's getting me concerned. Remember last week I was very bullish on the markets because of the commodity crash. And I'm like, as long as prices stay low, we can avert stagflation. We can have a short recession and the bottom may be in. But when you start seeing rebounds like this in wheat, corn, and natural gas, and oil never went down as badly as other commodities. It's trying to get 20 DMA, but something to watch. But I'm starting to worry a little bit, right? So again, this week, this is another sign with agriculture bouncing back, natural gas bouncing back. It's another sign that it may be time to take some risk off the table ahead of earnings season. All right, let's get into some exciting stuff here. Oh, wow, look at AGRX. Can't wait to talk about that. All right, Twitter deal. Musk is called it off or trying to call it off. He said it's calling off, so now it's going to be sued. So we highlighted this Friday right when the news came out on Twitter. Man, DWAC was still $25 when I put it out there. I'm like, DWAC may move on this. It did. It moved to 31.32. I don't play DWAC. I never do because it's just fundamentals are too expensive. And at this point, forget about the fundamentals. The chances the deal closes is very low at this point because of all the investigations going on about some SPAC rules that DWAC may have broken, or at least one SPAC rule of knowing their target ahead of time. So that's something the SEC could possibly derail DWAC. So I really don't play DWAC. I own CFVI, and it only got a small bump. It was up 3% Fridays. I already own CFI. Actually added a little more CFVI Friday afternoon. Some of them right around this level and some a bit higher. So disappointed that's not working out yet. CFVI has been really, really dead. And PHUN, PHUN probably is following DWAC to the T. I didn't even look it up, but I'm going to guess. It follows DWAC. I would not trade that either. 18%, yeah. really poor fundamentals there. Okay, so that's the story with. Oh, Tesla also bounced up, and I think this is maybe an erroneous reaction personally. People all excited to like, oh, Elon Musk can now focus on Tesla because he's not buying Twitter. So Tesla got that. The Tesla bulls look for any excuse to run something. I don't think that was a legitimate reason because I'm not convinced he's going to stop here. I remember him being on a TV show, Elon Musk, and saying he has a plan B if the Twitter deal doesn't happen. So is it building his own? Is it maybe doing something with DWAC? I want to say DWAC, Truth Social or CFVI. I doubt Truth Social, probably too political. CFVI is a little more neutral, but it's also not a microblogging site. It's a YouTube alternative. So who knows if he does something with one of them or he does something on his own. I think there's still maybe a plan B there. And the fact that this deal is getting derailed doesn't mean now his focus in Tesla is going to increase. I think that's a silly argument, but that's what caused the price movement up in after hours Friday. And it's up again today, up here above the 50 DMA. So, hey, that's a meme stock. That's what you get. You get a benefit of the doubt, everything interpreted with rose colored glasses. So, enjoy Tesla bulls on that. Twitter, good thing we averted that. I warned everyone Friday morning, actually. I'm like, I would not get into headed to $30. And you can see now 34. And there's a chance, right, through litigation, Musk will negotiate, settle, and say, all right, I'll buy the company for $40 or something. There's a chance something like that can happen. And I think that's what's keeping the stock up at 34.60 right now. But without that, I think it's probably headed to $30 or lower. Yeah, it's probably going to re-challenge those lows at some point. So that's the deal with that whole ramifications. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stocks impacted, including PHUN, PHUN, on that Twitter deal. Amazing. I love how the market moves, and it reacted so fast on Friday afternoon. That's beautiful. All right. So now we have AGRX. I added another 5,000 shares this morning. This is a small position for me, guys. Don't go crazy on this because the fundamentals are terrible. But bottom may be in for now because it just did that big offering. There's probably not going to be one for at least another few months. So in any case, AGRX picks them up at 72 cents. There's 2 catalysts this morning. 2. All right. One of them is H.C. Wainwright raises price target to $5 from $2.50. All right. That's one catalyst. And this is actually what it popped on this morning. This spike started right there on that news. Okay. But there's another catalyst, which I think is even more important. I shared the link in the VIP room. It's about a drug company that today is applying to make their hormonal contraceptive pills OTC. Okay. Now, I've been talking about this for a long time that I believe there's a high chance there's going to be either a political push or, within the FDA themselves, some sort of legal process. Again, I don't know if that's FDA can do it on their own or Congress, whatever it is. There's going to be some sort of legal process to try. I'm not saying it's going to happen, to try to make hormonal contraception OTC. And today we have an application incoming to the FDA. Now, this was already pre-planned, this application. It had nothing to do with Roe v. Wade timing, but because of Roe v. Wade, it's getting attention, it's getting articles, and also the FDA may look at it differently, may look at it through a little bit of a political lens, right? And any traction you get on, hormonal contraception is moving towards OTC, that is extremely good for AGRX fundamentals long term. And they don't even need to prove out those fundamentals when it comes to price action because of the sentiment, which is trying to get ahead of the fundamentals, is speculating about future fundamentals. The sentiment will become positive far, far sooner than their test of whether they actually become profitable longer term. So what I'm expecting is the price action to be positive surrounding any news this summer about hormonal contraception going OTC. Now, I don't know to what extent, I haven't seen the message boards this morning, to what extent of this move based only on the H.C. Wainwright pop, and to what extent is it based on this application that's coming out today? I don't know, but I think the thing that's going to have legs is this story about hormonal contraception going OTC. And as you see more chatter, more stories, I believe we'll see stuff on Capitol Hill about this. Maybe even see Biden make a comment on it in the coming weeks or months. I think that will drive AGRX pricing. And because I don't like the fundamentals, I have a very short leash on this. I'm not looking for huge gains. I've had like 3 successful trades on this so far. I'm just going to look at this resistance level here at 80 cents. I'll probably sell some at 80 cents this morning, 79 to 80 cents. Okay. And then we'll have to look for other. We don't have much time here. Let's do this real quick. Let's see if we can do it. We got to get rid of the 200-day moving average here because it's messing up our scale since the stock has dropped so much. Okay, now I can see more clearly the next resistance level. So we have one at 80 cents, and then you're going to have one at about $1, which is previously was support down here at these candles, but it's also the declining 20 DMA. So 80 cents, then $1, then the declining 50 DMA. Those would be the 3 targets as news develops for AGRX. But small size. Remember to sell on pops. Okay, they're a cash burn machine right now, so we got to be careful with that. All right, let's throw back on our 200 period 200 period 200 day. It's not always day. It depends on the interval. 200 day, 200 week. All right, so all right, let's see what else we got. All right, so a few other stocks I want to talk about. VTSI, SMSI, and KODK. All 3 of these are near key resistance levels, and that may actually be a sign that the market is topping out here because it's maybe kind of following the market. So we have to be careful. But I think this is going to do what the market does, at least SMSI and KODK. VTSI is such a thin float. All right, if you get a little bit of demand. But VTSI had a strong end of the day. There was a big buyer that came in end of the day on Friday, and it's right at the 50 DMA. Man, it wants to break out. I really want this to break out. It really deserves to break out. I mean, the news could not be any more perfect. This is like the perfect meme stock if it gets in the right hands. So this is something I feel confident holding a core in because it's cheap, it's not expensive, right? 11 PE, right? It's safe, it's recession resistant, right? So I like that. And then, I'm happy to have added some additional trading shares. Now, I sold covered calls on over half my trading shares, probably 75% of them. But in any case, I just love this because you have the downside fundamental protection and you have the upside optionality of Twitter may go wild over this at any point in time. All right. If you haven't seen the videos on CNN, you got to see it. But this is like the perfect meme stock. If this was a year ago before the market crashed, this thing would already be like $10, I believe. Maybe $10 kind of stretching it. I don't know. Probably be 8 to 9, something like that in that range. So anyway, holding on to that. And I think that could buck a market trend. Doesn't necessarily need a market tailwind for that to take off. SMSI KODK, potentially a different story. They may need the market. They may need the indices. These are larger market caps that are pushed around more by the algorithms that trade with the market. So SMSI, though, is at a key level, 50 DMA. Right? It looks beautiful if it breaks out. So maybe if a catalyst comes, and we had a meeting so VIP weekly meetup last Monday night on SMSI, and our VIPs know things are cooking. So at some point, if there's a news release or some good traction on their product, could that be the catalyst that gets us to spike into the 3s? Even potentially in a poor market? Yeah, that's possible. So that's something to look at. SMSI, KODK, they don't release news ever. Like, these guys are so quiet. It just moves with the market. I mean, all of these movements are either moving with the market or the huge insider buys, right? That's the story on this KODK chart. Everything, right? Either moving with the market or insider buys. So here we're sitting at the 20 DMA. So if the market go down, it goes down. All right. If if there's an insider buy, it goes up, even if the market's down. That's the story with KODK. We're sitting, we're waiting. It seems to be very undervalued, but not necessarily a recession resistant stock, undervalued from a sum of the parts perspective with all the assets they have. Those of you in the VIP room know all about that and the research we've done, specifically in the KODK research room. All right, want to point out a couple maybe ideas of stocks that have pulled back that may be ripe to pick up here at lower levels. ANDE, this is a stock brought to us by Matt S. As one of our new FANG picks in the agriculture sector. And this should really benefit from higher wheat prices. Now, they had issue with last earnings report that was related to some sort of hedging activities they did, which didn't work out for them. They like trade wheat or something like that. I don't even know the full story. But what I do know is this: it's profitable. Is it? It should show here. Yeah, PE 11, and it's near the 200-week moving average. Are we in the week? Let's double check. Yeah, it's near the 200-week moving average. And I showed you earlier, corn and wheat are now taking off again. Okay, so with corn and wheat taking off again and ANDE near the lows, this is something that it looks interesting to me. Potentially picking up shares, but also perhaps selling some puts. I'm trying to get back more into selling puts. I've been talking about that in the trading room. So this is something I'll be looking at closely. Um, maybe if we get Matt to present on it one day, it can officially become a VIP pick. So that's a good one. And then TWI, another one, which there was never a presentation on, but almost like an honorary VIP pick from Tony and Sanjay. I think the two of them had introduced it into the trading room. So this one also pulled back tremendously because of an insider sale, actually. 1974, but it moves with agriculture commodity prices and tried to challenge the 200-week moving average. Found support here at 12. This is very cheap. It says PE 15, but it's more like an 8 or something with their projected earnings for this year. So TWI, another solid stock. Maybe does it look good to pick up on a pullback? Possibly. All right, a few other things. We're waiting for DRIO. All right. Don't have time now to get into another one of those extended. I do additional videos sometimes in the WhatsApp rooms that never get published anywhere. So maybe I'll do that again for DRIO. How to play this if and when the news comes out. So DRIO closed at the highs on Friday. We're waiting for huge news. The two resistance levels are 770 and 10 if the news that we're waiting for comes. So we'll collaborate about that in the rooms. Now, look at these stocks. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. These next 5 stocks are all VIP picks, and they've all been crushing it. So, you know what? We used to have a VIP tracking sheet on our website that once markets started crashing, I hit it. I took it off the website because I didn't want people to think we were endorsing individual stocks at the time. For the most part, we're talking about taking money off the table, shorting the market, hedge. We're talking about the new fangs, and it was moving so fast, right? I just didn't want people to get the wrong idea. So we did hide that VIP sheet. But now that things have more stabilized, maybe we'll put it back up, and then you'll be able to see that the stocks that we actually present, right, they have an incredible track record. It's like this vetting process that we do based on the 4 pillars, but it's also the fact that community members are willing to step up to the plate and go on camera and talk about it. That by itself is, vetting and, taking out the poor picks because people have enough confidence to present it. And it's just showing historically our VIP picks are doing very well. And these are like 4 of our recent VIP picks that have been presented. It's CLFD, and you can look at this chart, the 3-month chart, the 6-month chart, the year chart. You can tell it's crushing markets, right? And then we got another one, PLAB, that Tony presented. And this one's also crushing, a little volatile over here, but I think this is probably a great pickup at this level. But the 6-month, the 1 year, look at that. These stocks are crushing it. RELL, which I still credit Julian for bringing it to the community, even though he declined to present it after the research we did, but I loved it still, and I presented it. So I took that one over. But RELL VIP pick, I own it still. Look at this, crushing the markets. Look at the VIP picks doing its story trading. Celsius, this one endorsed by guests Jonah Lupton and Mark Gomes. They had a great debate. It wasn't even a debate. They agreed. It was beautiful. It was a growth investor and a fundamental investor agreeing. Wonderful. Celsius, you can see, is crushing it. These are all VIP picks. Then GLBE, this was a VIP pick right before all the growth stocks crashed. So unfortunately, this did participate in the crash, but I think this is a growth stock that I called out the bottom here on May 17th, and a very solid company. And I just think from the technicals alone, that May 17th activity was a sign of a bottom, real capitulation action there. That's true capitulation. If we saw that in other stocks or the market indices, the bear market would have been over long ago. For some reason, GLBE decided to capitulate ahead of time with everyone else. So this one definitely down since it's been presented, but it's a solid growth company, and I think it is bottom. So that's the story with the VIP picks. And a few others we're monitoring, going a little overtime because we didn't do a weekly meetup this week. Getting a little extra airtime here. But UPST, actually, we had two presentations on this, one to the short side, one to the long side. It turned out the short, I think it was Greg Fisher, although that one was just a private presentation for VIPs we didn't put on YouTube. That presentation saved us for those who were convinced by Greg's argument. He convinced me. I didn't play UPST, and UPST is ending up in the gutters, and they got another ground downgrade, I think, from Goldman Sachs this morning. Downgrades Upstart to sell, a lowest price target to 14. So at the end of the day, Greg was right. If it wasn't Greg, I apologize. I think it was Greg. All right. So good job on that, UPST. So monitoring monkeypox, I don't play it. I don't play it at all. It's just too unpredictable for me. Sega. All right. Still waiting on XXXI. Still own. Oh, did I sell some to Friday? I did. I did sell some Friday because I'm starting to get the sense that this bear market rally may be coming to a close, and I was up on it, bought it at $2, so I sold it whatever it was at. I don't know what price I sold it out Friday, but now I can see it's down 2% this morning. So I do still have some in my long-term holdings account, but in my trading account got none. So XXXI, I love the story. Just got to monitor it. See, I think it could test that 203 here. It almost is essentially, but 203, who knows? Maybe down to 191, and maybe I'll get back in again because I do like the catalyst on that one. CERN, I'm still holding, still being maybe this will go down when the market goes down because this one is a war play, kind of cybersecurity. And, when markets do poorly, you'll be surprised. You'll see all of a sudden the stories like about war increase. Like it's all the sentiment. Or the journalists get more like pessimistic. I don't know, but like it gets amplified, right? Bad news stories get amplified in when markets are going down, and vice versa. So maybe we start hearing about cyber things like that, and this can get a second run. But again, why am I holding this? Because the fundamentals are great if this deal goes through. I mean, they're getting 10.5 million cash, and the market cap's 15. And I think the EV is even lower than that. With this deal, it's a negative EV. So I'm fine holding this negative EV company with maybe some sort of war catalyst on some cyber attack. Boom, I get my exit. So I'm losing money on it now. It's a 230 entry, but I'm looking for 270 or higher on CYRN. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. No guarantees. You got to diversify and manage your position sizing. Oxy, wow, I this is just a Warren Buffett play, nothing else. I mean, I know it's energy too, so it's one of the new fangs. But with Oxy, I've been selling weekly covered calls. I actually ended up on the advice of someone in the room. I was like, man, I'm going to lose my Oxy on Friday because I sold $60 covered calls, and it's like, why don't you sell that and buy or close it out, and then you can sell the one another week out. So I did that. I ended up taking a small loss on this week's or last week's that expired, but then I was able to sell the $60 strike again for the following week. I keep selling the $60 strike. It's been kind of fun because I'm picking up like, here, look at this. That's great. I picked up probably, I don't know what I sold it at, probably 230, 240. So I picked up a couple bucks additional. I'm picking up like $2 a week. Like, think about that for stock appreciation. That's beautiful. I just hope it just stays just above $60 for the rest of the year. That'd be fun. All right. Oxy. And then we're monitoring NewScale, SMR. I had a bad week Friday and I did not even notice. When did that happen? I don't know. I think I was busy watching DRIO. I mean, it looked good. It hit like a 52-week high the day before, and then boom. All right. Well, when uranium picks up, this will pick up. What are you going to do? But yeah, I must have been watching DRIO Friday because look at this. This was crazy. A bunch of FOMO. People are thinking we can get news on Monday, and we didn't get it. So who knows? We'll probably get a pullback today, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe someone had inside. Someone was buying in size in after hours Friday. Which was weird. He went all the way up to 6,895. Yeah, he went all the way up to 695. Several thousand shares. So we're waiting for this news. I hope it happens. Company is sticking to their guidance right now that deal was going to get done by June 30th. So is it done? Is it not? Are we just waiting for a PR? who knows? But right now, people are waiting for that. So we'll see what happens. Guys, thank you for joining us. If you'd like to become a VIP and chat with us in real time throughout the day, please go to our website, storytrading.com, where you can upgrade. Have a great day, everyone.